oil and gas is about to experience the most difficult year in 2025 in over a decade, probably. This year, it's off to a really bad start, down 4% in
just
4
1 month.
weeks. Yeah, 1 month. The worst performing.
Yes.
Right, and you can see the chart here is basically down. Too busy to find stock ideas? Check out Fire Pro to shortcut your research time and effort by 90%. 10% off link in the comments and description. In 2019 it was what, 1,001, almost 1,001.
Yeah.
Now it's
correct,
800. Struggling, and I think the big telltale sign was that Dialog announced, the company Dialog announced the biggest losses. Losses actually for the very first time.
Yes, and also
look at that. PChem, we did a video on PChem last week. Look at Dialog, even Hibiscus, a company that we've been following, and then Yinson, right, another darling, all down 30%.
Yeah, so you can see that the most painful one is obviously the PChem and also Dialog shareholders. If let's say you buy at a peak, you probably be down 60%. Hibiscus also is still struggling, as well as for Yinson. Yinson one is quite a surprise that it was down quite a fair bit, about 32% from its peak. So there is some sort of like a right sizing in Petronas. I think we shared this in the Petronas Chemical video. But basically, they are trying to say is that not only just Petronas, but other companies like Shell, ExxonMobil, they are also doing some sort of like job cutting because there is some rising volatility and also a long-term decline of oil prices because of the global push of decarbonization and green energy. So what all this means is that basically they think that the demand for oil is going to be bad in the near term. And with Trump also coming in, that he wants to drill more, and the fact that he also left the Paris Agreement or something like that, right? Basically, it's just telling you that he's going to be ramping up a lot of production for oil, and this would in turn reduce the oil prices, and which is what is mentioned over here in Petronas. And yeah, if you guys didn't know, this is our value chain that we actually created very long time ago. I think it's one of our deep dives.
Yes.
So you can see that
this is the big picture.
This is the big picture of the value chain. But what you need to know is basically, if the top guys, which is the asset owners, basically your Petronas, your Shell, and your Dialog, if they are not spending money, the bottom guys, which is basically your upstream players, your EPC, your exploration business, your OVS, and all these kind of like players, they will actually not really get a lot of like contract and even like potentially revenue and profit. So that's why we are seeing like a half time for Petronas, which means that in the near term, probably in the future, these bottom guys, they will also may suffer. So just like MJ talked about the first losses, right? You can see why they are making losses is because they actually did a write-off. So they are doing some sort of kitchen sinking for this particular quarter, and they are basically going to be cancelling their petrochemical business, which is related to this multic acid project in BASF. So basically what they say is the Southeast Asia for multic prices is actually down 20 to 30% since September 2023 because of oversupply. And also there is also a continued volatility and challenging global capital market and also uncertain macro environment. So basically they are just trying to say that the market is not really that good for the time being. And you can see this is their corporate structure. They have one of these company which is in the petrochemical, and this is basically the business that they're planning to like write off. So they're exiting this petrochem business. And if you look at their numbers, right, it's actually quite muted. You can see that revenue actually went down, and they didn't really like surpass back this level, which is in 2017's level. We never see that for their revenue, and profit also has been very muted. Same for the share for profit and JV and associate, and also their PBT. So you can see also their investment in JV and associate, which is some of them is related to their terminal business, some is related to petrochem. So you can see that the investment actually kind of like tumble a little bit, and we have never seen them putting in more money in this JV. So you can tell that their growth is pretty much very stagnant already. Now, this is also the similar for Petronas Chemical. You can see that their profit also is going very low. I think this is one of the lowest also. But partially also is because of the demand side of things, but also is related to the forex losses. So if you guys didn't know, there was a point of time where our ringgit actually strengthened a lot to like 4 ringgit and 10 cents a share. So that is the quarter that they got hit. and they kind of like recognize unrealized loss for this forex. And if you want to know more about the details on why Petronas Chemical is struggling, you can watch our video. We already talk about it over here. And basically just want to tell you why. This is just a spoiler. Is basically there's an ample supply coming out from the Northeast Asia. So basically it is just China is the one that is creating all of this chaos. Yeah. So the third company that went down a lot, which is Hibiscus. So why it
Yes.
went down is because the fund managers are actually exiting because they actually got deleted from the MSCI small cap index. So that's why
Big
there is
news,
some
yeah.
sort of like sell off. But also I think they are poised to pay dividends. I think around like 8 cents, 6 to 8 cents, but they are being very conservative. So I thought probably also is the reason why some of the investors decided to pull out, because the dividend yield is not so attractive based on current prices.
Yeah, and the whole thesis for Hibiscus has always been we are going into brownfield assets which would generate more consistent and proven cash flows. So in that scenario, an investor would like to expect more dividends. But in this case, what they are doing is they are reinvesting into new field, not new fields, but other fields, and just reinvesting in general. And with the kind of oil and gas climate that we're in, a lot of investors are like,
yeah, why are you doing
why
that?
don't you just pay out,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Yeah, correct. But these are actually two school of thoughts. Whether you think that did Hibiscus did the right move to continue expanding their business, or should they be paying out to shareholders? This one's really up to you.
Yeah.
Okay, last one we have here, Yinson. Why they are on the down? Well, I actually just found out today also because of the latest fund flow data. Basically, the foreigners are selling it also. And not only foreigners, but KWAP and EPF, they are a net seller for year to date for Yinson. Maybe they don't like the RCPS that they just did recently because there's some sort of like dilution for the existing shareholders also. But yeah, this one is all is happening right now. Is all related to oil and gas counter, the big ones also. And basically, investors are not too bullish about this segment at the moment. So yeah, I mean the prices looks attractive right now. Is this the time to buy? What do you think, MJ?
I'm personally, I don't have any oil and gas counters directly, but I've always believed that if you want to go into oil and gas, there are two ways. The first is the less headache way. So you opt for maybe the midstream players. So whether it's the Deliums of the world, not financial advice, but just an example, right? The Deliums of the world, Dialog.
Yeah. Basically, like those maintenance guys.
Yeah, maintenance guys who oil price up and down, they're still going to be quite relevant, right? And I would say they also have higher pivotability. So what does it mean? It means that, so let's say if really oil and gas starts to experience an even deeper decline as an industry, if you look at companies like Dialog, Delium, and all these guys, they have skill sets that are quite transferable into other industries, right? The maintenance work they do, for Delium, they can technically reskill a little bit and then go into perhaps renewables, perhaps other industrials or things like that. Similarly with Dialog, their skill sets are transferable, right? But suppose you were mainly focused on upstream activities, this kind of capex intensive. It's very specific to oil and gas, right? The what you learn and all that is, if it doesn't exist, how do you actually transfer this skill set outside? I'm not saying cannot, but it's gonna take more time. Which leads me to my second one. If you're someone who have a proven track record, or at least you're confident in your ability to predict 1 to 2 year oil and gas prices, then with that skill set, where you should be is in making moves in the upstream sector, because they are much more sensitive, and so you can actually gain more profit there. But as a whole, personally, I'm not invested.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And if you want to know what other stocks that is unrelated to oil, and also we also share a lot of like these kind of like oil and gas.
We have, I
news.
think, one oil and gas or two oil and gas inside the portfolio, right?
Used to be, but we already
now
like both also
zero.
gone already.
Okay.
Zero already. Sold already. Yeah. So we sold quite a long time ago already, before everything came down to crumple. Luckily, and right now our portfolio is up 45.83%. The FirePro Global portfolio is gonna be better for February, because obviously you can see that
China is
spoiler,
going
China
up.
is going
Yep.
up. So yeah, a lot of our positions are related to the Hong Kong and China. Borrowing portfolio is going to be quite stagnant, but it's still pretty much on a double-digit return phase. So if you want to know what are the companies that we have covered, you can check out inside Fire Pro. And if you want to know some of the exclusive management that we interview or even meet them, we also do share some of our findings, our notes with you guys inside the members. And fun fact also, some of the members that just recently joined, those who actually took advantage of the 30% discount, they managed to profit a little bit from
Yeah, in less than a
this.
week, right?
Yeah, less than a week.
Few thousand ringgit, something like that.
Yeah. So if you want to get a taste, you want to see how we do our write-ups, and also you want to see our SIB program, we also have a free sample for both of these programs. The links will be in the description and comments. So yeah, that's about it for today's video. See you guys next week.
Bye bye.